All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we are cracking open the doors to a totally clandestine, closed-door meeting from the ancient Indian epic, the Mahabharata. But listen, we aren't looking at this text as just a simple myth or a basic story. No, we are going to examine it as an absolutely chilling, brilliant masterclass in ruthless statecraft and political sabotage. We're going to decode the exact strategies thrown around in a secret war room thousands of years ago, strategies that reveal the unforgiving reality of holding on to power. We'll be looking at how alliances are systematically broken, how psychological warfare is waged, and our ruling faction plans to completely dismantle their rivals. So get ready, because the playbook we are about to open up is about as calculated as it gets. We've got to start right here, with this incredibly revealing quote from King Dhritarashtra. He says, "I do not wish to inform Vidura of it, even by a change of muscle." I mean, just think about the sheer level of physical and psychological control that requires. Vidura is a key advisor, right? Someone he is supposed to completely trust. Yet the king is openly admitting to this two-faced deception. He is actively plotting against his own nephews, the Pandavas, but he is dead set on not giving away his true intentions, not by a word, not by a look, not even by a microscopic twitch of his face. This instantly sets the urgent, conspiratorial tone for our explainer today. We are looking at a regime that operates entirely in the shadows. So, that brings us to Section 1, Secret Deception and the King's Plot. Okay, picture this. To pull the wool over Vidura's eyes, the king had literally just been publicly applauding the Pandavas. He's acting like the proud, supportive uncle for everyone to see. But the second that door clicks shut and Vidura leaves the room, the mask completely drops. The king immediately turns to his son, Duryodhana, and his ally, Karna, asking for their actual secret plots. And what follows is Duryodhana's brainstorming session, which is honestly a masterclass in ruthless strategy. Duryodhana just launches into this breathless monologue. He isn't just spitballing random ideas here. He is pitching a highly structured, multi-pronged coup to the king, all aimed at destroying the Pandavas before they can solidify a single ounce of power. Moving right along to Section 2, Diplomatic Sabotage and Economic Bribery. So let's break down this first wave of the attack. Long before drawing a single sword, Duryodhana proposes severing the Pandavas' brand new alliances using pure diplomatic sabotage. His first tactic? Deep, deep pockets. He suggests bribing the powerful King Drupada, his sons, and literally all of his state ministers with immense wealth so they'll abandon the Pandavas. Basically, if you can't beat their allies, just buy them off. And if that fails, well, he moves to tactic number 2, sending covert agents, or spies, directly into the Pandavas' camp. These spies are tasked with a very subtle psychological nudge. They're supposed to describe in exhausting detail all the inconveniences of living back in their home kingdom of Hastinapura, while simultaneously making their current residence in Panchala sound like a permanent paradise. The whole goal here is bloodless exile. If he can just convince the Pandavas to stay away voluntarily, Duryodhana wins the whole thing without shedding a single drop of blood. Okay, let's dive into Section 3, Psychological War and Sowing Jealousy. Things are about to shift from economic bribery to tactics that are a whole lot darker. Duryodhana plans to tear the Pandavas apart from the absolute inside out. You see, he doesn't view these 5 brothers as some unbreakable unit. He views them as a collection of human vulnerabilities just waiting to be exploited. First up, he wants to sow dissension between the half-brothers, the sons of Kunti versus the sons of Madri, by using spies to manufacture petty jealousy. But honestly, the most insidious tactics involve weaponizing their shared marriage to Draupadi, who is referred to in the text as Krishna. The plan is to incite her against her husbands, or vice versa, making the husbands dissatisfied with her. He even explicitly proposes tempting the brothers with handsome girls, specifically to annoy and alienate the princess. This is deep emotional manipulation, perfectly calculated to destroy the very foundation of their family dynamics. Because why fight an enemy army when you can just trick the enemy into destroying themselves, right? Which leads us right into Section 4, targeting Bhima with a decapitation strike. Now, what's really interesting about this strategy is that Duryodhana knows soft power and psychological tricks might not actually be enough to finish the job. So we move to the decapitation strike. Duryodhana clinically analyzes his enemy's power structure by mapping out a perfect before and after scenario. With Bhima, the absolute powerhouse of the family, protecting them, their greatest warrior Arjuna is practically invincible, and the faction as a whole is brave and fierce. But without Bhima's protection, Duryodhana calculates that Arjuna's effectiveness plummets to less than a fourth of their own warrior, Hridaya. And even more importantly, the entire Pandava faction completely loses their energy. Make no mistake, Duryodhana is proposing a targeted, secret assassination of the strongest brother to collapse their entire house of cards. His logic here is absolutely chilling. He states, deprived of Bhima, who is their sole refuge, they will no longer strive to regain their kingdom. Taking out Bhima isn't just about removing a physically strong warrior from the chessboard. It is a highly calculated move designed to completely shatter the psychological will of the survivors. Duryodhana deeply understands that hope and drive are intimately tied to a sense of security. By murdering their anchor, he plans to leave the remaining brothers so depressed, so acutely conscious of their own feebleness, that they'll simply give up the fight for their rightful kingdom. It is a ruthless tactical strike aimed directly at their spirit. All right, let's zoom out a bit for Section 5, the ancient playbook of political science. This brings us to a much broader understanding of what we are actually witnessing in this text. You see, Duryodhana doesn't look in the mirror and see a common villain acting out of mere spite. He sees himself as a seasoned practitioner of statecraft. He explicitly justifies his cruelest ideas as strictly adhering to the dictates of political science, specifically citing the teachings of an ancient strategist named Kanaka. This is formalized, unapologetic realpolitik. Duryodhana even proposes a scenario where the Pandavas might prove completely docile and obedient, yet he still insists on repressing them using these exact methods. He suggests sending messengers to warmly invite them back home, only to use trusted agents to ambush and slaughter them the moment they arrive. And to him, this isn't some ultimate betrayal. It's literally just following the textbook rules for maintaining absolute power and eliminating future threats. So the really crucial point here is the ticking clock. All of these brainstormed plots, the bribes, the honey traps, the assassinations, they mean absolutely nothing if they aren't executed immediately. Duryodhana warns his father, time passeth. In the now, action must be taken quickly. In the near future, they absolutely must launch these attacks before the Pandavas can firmly establish their new alliance with King Drupada, because once that alliance is cemented, the Pandavas will be untouchable. If Hastinapura waits, failure is mathematically certain. It's a high-stakes, do-or-die race against time to crush a rival before they can dig their roots in. We're going to wrap up this explainer with the exact question Duryodhana uses to end his chilling pitch. He turns to his ally and simply asks, "Judge whether they be good or bad. What dost thou think?" And you know what? I want to turn that exact same question over to you. Looking at these tactics, the bribery, the weaponized jealousy, the targeted assassination, the false invitations, what do you think of this ancient political playbook? Does the sheer ruthlessness of these closed-door machinations surprise you? Or does it sound eerily, maybe uncomfortably, similar to the quiet, calculated power struggles we still see in the world today? Take a moment to really think about how power is truly maintained. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and keep questioning what happens behind closed doors.